Welcome back. It's been a little bit, but today we're putting this big Drifta 1.4 Desert Cruiser rooftop tent, the side opening one. It's this one here. I'll probably put a little picture up here. It's that one. And we're putting it temporarily on top of the Ultimate Soccer Mum vehicle, on top of the Prado to do Cape York coming up in 6 weeks. And then when we get back, we've got to pull it all off again and put it where it's going to live, on top of the toy hauler canopy. So yeah, let's do that. We're going to unbox it. We're going to rip the solar panels off the top of that. I have to get a mate round to lift this thing up because I think it's probably just shy of 100 kilos. I'll go through some specs in a minute. We're going to throw that on top of that, and then we're probably going to do a shakedown trip as a bit of prep for Cape York, get the layout and everything I've packed in it right. So yeah, that's enough chit chat. Let's get into it. I'm going to try and do as much prep as I can myself before I got to call my mate to come around and help me lift it. So let's get into it, get these solar panels off the top. That's it, she's loose, ready to come off. I really need a wider angle camera. This is not working for me. Anyway, they are two 110 watt panels that I put on there a couple of years ago. They work pretty well, like 220 watts is quite a bit, sort of. And that's for charging camera gear and drones and that sort of stuff when I go on trips. I'm not sure what's going to fit on top of the rooftop tent, but up in the top of the shed, way up the back there, I've got two, they're just King's ones, two 160 watt panels. But I'll see what fits on top of the rooftop tent. Maybe it's one, maybe it's two, I don't know. Stay tuned. Help us on the way, let's unbox this thing. That was surprisingly easy to get up there, the two of us, and it's only 83 kilos. All the underneath is all aluminium extrusion slats and then rails the other way, where you put your T-nuts into and then bolt it down over your roof rails. And all the rest of it is all aluminium extrusion around the outside, composite panels. So yeah, nice and lightweight. Now just got to jump up, put these little T-nuts in, and then these little hoopy boys go underneath one of the rails. So I'll pick one of the solid cross beams. Yeah, screw it down, and then I think she's all buttoned up and we're good to go out for an overnight trip somewhere and do a bit of a shakedown before the Cape York trip. The stock tent comes with these nice roof rails, standard, and it comes with a bag of fittings to fit it, some socket head cap screws, washers and spring washers, and a little stumpy Allen key. You must need that to get underneath in one of the gaps, but we'll see. But it doesn't come with any of the extrusion nuts, so I had to order these separately. And that's to fit anything on the side extrusions or on the roof rails or pretty much anywhere it works off these little extrusion nuts. And they're not like any you can buy just anywhere. They're these little slotted ones with, I think that's an M8 bolt in it. If you buy the tent from a stockist or buy it from the website directly, I'd probably make sure you order a stack of these. They're 15 bucks for 4. So there's a lot of markup in that. They definitely do not cost nowhere near that to punch these out, especially the numbers they're doing. And they charge you like $15 shipping as well. So yeah, I paid $45 to get 8 of these shipped up to Townsville. Anyway, that's the plan. Let's throw the rails on, start sizing up the solar to go back on the top and hook that up. The roof rack slot down straight into these solid metal brackets that sit along this top extrusion. And it's even got a little locating recess for the head of the cap screw. So pretty decent build quality by the look of it. And then you just got to put your extrusions in here, take that cap off, there's a little screw in the corner, take that cap off, extrusions in there, and then put whatever you want on the roof. Solar panels on and mounted up, just went with the 160 watt panel. Gives me a bit of room on either side. I'm probably going to put some more mounts on this side for max tracks, and maybe a shovel holder or something on the other side. You've got to drill the little pop rivets out of here to get these rubber caps off. It's a bit of a stuff around because now I've got to drill those out and probably put a slightly bigger rivet back in to put these caps back on. I'm going to leave them off for the moment because I'm going to do those other mounts on the sides here, like I said. Next up, I've got to figure out how to get my King's 270 awning to mount off the side of this, and it's not as easy as you think. They make awning brackets that go on the side of here, but they're only tiny, and they'd be mounting off extrusion nuts slid into this lower extrusion here, and it's like 50 mil wide. And if you look at how staunch all these 270 awnings are, that's 200 mil, just under, probably about 190 mil. And probably not the normal setup for me. Most people would run a 1.2 on a Prado size car. I'm doing the 1.4 because it's going on there in the long term since I go back from the Cape. So if I did brackets off here, that awning is going to be hanging like right out here in the middle of nowhere and probably going to get taken out on a tree. This is the version 1 King's awning I had on, so not the, so it's the 270, but it's not the freestanding one. And yeah, the mounting face is only this little one here, so that's 50 mil. It's only designed for awnings around that size. Anything bigger than that, you're gonna have to come up with your own option on how to mount it, which is what I did. I haven't tested them out yet, but I just knocked up some brackets out of angle and put some slots in it so it's adjustable in and out. And this face here will bolt onto the back of the 270 awning to mount it. It's hard to show you this and hold a phone, but this is gonna sit in under here, pick up those big rails underneath, sit neatly under there with a gap, and that angle there to clear the edge of the roof. And the height, the door should just be able to open, so just enough clearance, but it gets the awning, I can adjust it in and out, gets that awning tucking right in under there, up against the car. So hopefully that works for me just for the extent of the Cape York trip. When I get back, like I said, I've got to change it up anyway to go back on the toy hauler. But I haven't tried it on yet, so let's throw it on and see if it actually fits. And check out this paint from Bunnings that I found that I painted this in. I'll show you in a second, the sunlight. Just Metal Pro, quick dry hammered finish. I sprayed it in a couple of coats of black spray gel and then did a couple of top coats of that. But look at it in the sun. Don't know if the camera will do it justice. Look at that. Not too bad for something that comes out of a rattle can, I reckon. Pretty happy with that, even though you're really not going to see it behind the awning tucked under the roof rack. But anyway, it's the thought that counts. Righto, anyway, let's throw this thing on, see if it fits. We've got all the brackets bolted up with some U-bolts. Time to throw the awning on, see if it fits. Okay, let's go. That's the brackets all done, fitted up. Just enough gap in there for the tent not to hit on the bag. It tucks it in nice and close to the car, hopefully shouldn't hit on anything. And just enough clearance to still open the doors, just. The back door, not so much. You need to make sure the back door is open before you go rolling it out. The way it's mounted is definitely sitting down a little bit lower than what you would typically do. But the back rail sits down just above that door opening level. You've just got to flex that arm up to get over the top of the door when you open it, and then it sits back in there. Height-wise, you wouldn't want to be higher than about 5'10", but that works fine for me. This is just temporary for the Cape trip, then it comes back off. Now, the next thing is to fit the mattress upgrade that came with the rooftop tent. It also came with a stock mattress, the way that I bought it, so I'll be able to show you both versions side by side. The mattress upgrade was $299, and it comes with this thin plywood sheet that folds in half, obviously to get it inside there, covered in marine carpet. And this much thicker eggshell sort of high density foam mattress. And versus the one that it comes with, it comes in this neat sort of, you know, what's that? Hex woven slip that goes over the top. But this is all the mattress is inside of it. It's just literally 2 pieces of foam, like a softer piece of memory foam, and then this high density layered cell one, I guess you call it, underneath. I'll grab a tape measure and measure the thicknesses. For the stock one, you're looking at maybe 70 mil for both layers. For the new one, you're looking at about 95 at the peaks, and the core is 75. And it's all just one big piece of eggshell, cushy memory foam. So hopefully a bit more comfy than the other one. Right, I'm gonna throw that new base in, and I'm gonna unpack that one, see if I can wrestle it into that cover, and throw it up in the tent. Let's go. That's actually easier than I thought. Pretty easy to throw in. I just had to wrestle these these weatherproof flaps out from underneath it. It only feels like a 4 or 5 mil layer of plywood, including the marine carpet on it, but at least it gives you a base instead of just being straight on these separate aluminium slats. So hopefully smooths the load out a little bit, and then with that comfy mattress on top, feels a bit better. I've got a feeling this might not be so easy. Takes a little bit of wrestling, but it does go in there. It's already settled down into there pretty nice, so it does fit pretty well. I really think it's just slightly better foam, tiny bit thicker with a harder base. That's really all it is. Hopefully it makes a difference. You'll have to stay tuned for that, because this is only the start install. And after a little bit more wrestling, it is in. The eggshell top actually does feel quite nice, and it definitely feels a lot squishier now that I put it up there and compare it like for like. We'll have to go knock out an overnighter before the Cape to just test it out. Obviously a trade-off with this, if it does end up being a little bit thicker, you're not going to be able to store bedding in here, which these ones, being that they're thin, lightweight tents, are already a bit of a struggle to store bedding in. So you just got to throw your blankets and pillows down, put them in the car. Not that hard. That's probably it for this one. This video is going to be way too long. Tune in next time where we'll do an overnighter in the rooftop tent, some final mods. I've got some Red Arc gear to put in the Prado, and get to the pointy end of packing everything as tight as we can, and then we head off Cape York for 3 weeks. See you then. And we're putting it temporarily. What is going on with this zoom? I just bumped whatever button that was. Solar panels on and man it up. The nice solar panels on and man it up. Just the one